Welcome back to another video and to the first Schecter guitar I've had in. Never had a Schecter on the channel before, and this is the Schecter Nick Johnston traditional, sort of his and their take on a Strat S-type guitar. So what we'll do, we'll go over the spec as normal because it's a very well spec'd guitar, to be fair, and then go into some sound demos, see if it can cover you know, how close does it get to that traditional Strat territory, as well as, you know, how this humbucker sounds and stuff like that. So starting off with the body, it's an older body, so, you know, traditional F-style spec there, but it is a little bit slimmer than a Fender. But then of course you do have the normal Strat sort of contours on the front and rear. Pickups wise, there's not much info on them in terms of what magnets they are, but they're the Schecter Diamond Nick Johnston single coils and the 78 in the bridge, Diamond 78 humbucker, and that is coil tappable on the tone control just there. Master volume, master tone, and a 5-way selector. If I just show you this at the back, you can see you got that sort of contoured slope, sort of, rather than being just blocky, so you got a little bit more sort of slim access at the back there. The neck is a roasted maple on the back and ebony on the front, if I can get the camera to focus, there we go. Nice dark ebony fingerboard, and the inlays are actually sort of hollowed out brass inlays. Let's see if I can get the camera to pick up the sort of shine. But they look pretty cool, to be fair. I'm a fan of those. You got a Gravtech nut, and then you got the roasted maple headstock with the Schecter logo, and Schecter lock-in machine heads, very similar to the Fender thumb wheel ones. And what I do quite like as well is how this logo here is sort of laser carved, I suppose you could say. It just feels like a nice quality touch for the guitar. Anything else? So the radius on the guitar is a 14-inch radius, so incredibly flat, and that's all the way up. It's not compounded like a Charval, and that does make playing the thumb over the top chords that you would normally do on a Strat, or that I would normally do on a Strat, a little bit more difficult, as we'll see in the sound demos. You do have a truss rod access down the bottom here. It's the spoke wheel type, which, given that I adjust truss rods sort of day in day out at this point, it's becoming one of my favourite sort of ways to have the truss rod. Other things, you got a 2-point bridge, tremolo system, you know, very stable, similar to a modern player series, say, that same style, except for it's a push-in bar. Anything else that I'm missing on this guitar? No, I think that's pretty much it, to be fair. So let's get on to some sounds, and then I'll come back and share more thoughts on, you know, what I think of this guitar as a massive fan of Strats, and you know, what I think of the first sort of Schecter I've had. So I'll see you in a minute. So there you go then, you heard some sound examples just there. I forgot to do the coil tap thing, but to be fair, it does what you expect it to do. The volume stays pretty much the same, it just becomes a bit more sort of higher end, that thinner kind of sound. I don't think it taps as well as PRS guitars, I've said that many times. That is the only ones that I would actually, you know, really enjoy using. I don't know what they do different, but it seems to work very well. So let's get to the title of this video. Is this a vintage sort of spec or modern? Is it more vintage or more modern? And honestly, the only thing that's vintage to me about this guitar, surprisingly, is the neck carve. That's very sort of, you know, late 60s, slim to medium C, and very comfortable. And the colour, and I'm a massive fan of the colour because you can see my own Sonic Blue strap just behind me there. But everything else on this guitar, you know, down to the radius, the sounds, the general sort of playability and stuff like that, especially with these extra jumbo frets and stuff like that, is very much so more for the modern player. So if you think this is going to be like, you know, very vintage voiced, a high-end classic vibe or something like that, you're going to be sort of misled, if you like, because the single coils, to me, they definitely pass the Strat test, but there's a lot more sort of top end on them. Very much like the sort of Chapman ML1 traditionals and stuff like that. They're, you know, although they say traditional, like this does, Nick Johnston traditional, there's a lot more sort of high end on the single coils. And don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a tool, and I like the sound, but if, you know, if you're thinking it's going to sound like a 60s Strat on these positions, it's not. It's much more of a modern, different voice Stratocaster. If I was choosing though, if I was dead set on HSS, which I never would be, it's not my thing. I like to commit to a sound with a guitar. I'm not, you know, I've said before, I'm not into that sort of thing. But if I decided, which, you know, people do, I want a HSS Strat, I would definitely get this over a Fender HSS Strat, because I just feel like the humbucker and single coils here work better together. They just have a better balance, and you can get a lot of sort of rock out of that humbucker. It doesn't sound out of place like I feel they do on the HSS Strats for some reason. It's just a personal thing. So yeah, like in that sense, if I was dead set on HSS, you know, you definitely can't go wrong with this. It's just I would always choose 3 single coils and then a 2 humbucker guitar. In terms of like build quality and stuff like that, I recently had a Charvel in, and I was, you know, blown away and said I'm actually going to get one, which I am going to get one. It's a humbucker version, obviously. But I would put this on equal terms with the Charvel, you know. It is priced pretty much the same, so it should be on equal terms. But build quality, I've got nothing to fault. I've barely tuned this guitar throughout this video, you know, it's just done what I've asked it to do. It stayed in tune. It's not super heavy. The bridge, as I say, has all worked absolutely fine. I've got no issues with like the pots, the way they sort of taper on and off. And again, these sort of thumb wheel locking tuners are a personal favourite anyway. I just like those. But yeah, so overall, I am definitely impressed with this guitar. But it's definitely for someone who's looking for a modern take. Don't think that because it's called the traditional, it's going to be like, it's going to satisfy those 60s Strat kind of vibes, if you like, because this is something different. And you know, just looking at it, you can probably tell that, but I thought it was worth mentioning it anyway. So there you go, I've got quite a few more videos to come out this week, now it's cooled down a bit. Yeah, they'll be coming out sort of a lot more regular than the last sort of week or two. Last thing before I go, all the sounds you heard today were recorded on the trial of the Archetype Rabea. As you all know, I'm probably, you know, I've said I like the Neural DSP software a lot. And I'm pretty impressed with that software, and I think that certainly if you don't own any of those, that one as a sandbox of tools is an amazing deal. But there is something in it, and it's almost like an electronic sub effect with incredibly quick and accurate tracking, and it's kind of always there, and it just sounds a little bit weird. So I think you'd probably want the Rabea as well as one of the more traditional amp plugins. But yeah, overall pretty impressed with that software. The detune thing that we did on the high gain, to track that in real time without getting too much sort of weird artifacts and strange things that happen when you use detuner things is pretty impressive. You know, it's not 100% perfect, it's like 90% perfect. But so there we go. Let me know what you thought of the guitar, and I will see you on the next video.